What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome to the top 30 to 21 ratings for FIFA 18. 10 new players are upon us guys. A couple of these dudes you've already seen. EA released some of them through their video a couple of days ago. But we're going to be starting off with number 30, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Having played for many of the biggest teams in Europe, Ibrahimovic is known the world over for his versatile finishing ability. His 88 shooting score is one of the highest in FIFA 18, and his skills as a striker are supplemented by his 82 dribbling and 82 physical. And when we look at the difference between this card and the last, I actually respect EA a little bit for this downgrade. Not only is he injured and out, of course he's going to go back to Manchester United, hence the reason he's got the Manchester United card, but they are usually brutal on the pace of older players in FIFA. Even, like, just without reason as well. They literally just abuse the hell out of people's pace. Ibra has only been downgraded by 7. And that's not bad considering his age in the game. What is he, 35 years old with 65 pace? When he comes back, which is going to be way before anyone assumed, he's still at the top of his physical ability. I was actually talking to Nick and Mav and Wolf about this yesterday. Ibra is the kind of guy like Teddy Sheringham. He will play at the highest level if he wants to until he's 40, 41, 42 because his game isn't revolving around his pace. It's revolving around his ability. And this card actually looks like it would be an incredible cam or second striker in a two-striker formation in FIFA, assuming, again, that crossing is overpowered. If crossing is overpowered, this card is going to be ridiculous. So he gets a 7 pace downgrade, a 3 dribbling downgrade, 2 shooting downgrade, same passing, 4 physical downgrade, and 1 defending upgrade. And there are a few things to talk about, and we mentioned them in a few last videos, but there's been more information coming out and more discussion about this on Twitter, Reddit, forums, etc. And that's, first and foremost, it seems like EA are calculating overalls and face card stats in a new way because there has been a general across-the-board downgrade in stats, specifically pace. And secondly, and when you look at Ibra's 65 pace compared to some of the best centre-backs in the game, it's not that bad, and we'll get to that in a second. Secondly, the position of a player determines, more importantly, their overall rating than other things. Obviously, international reputation is taken into consideration. We've known that for many, many years. There's a website called FIFA that gives a bit of a better breakdown on international reputation. But we'll get to that again in a second. But overall, guys, Ibrahimovic's card doesn't look bad at all. For a 35-year-old who's been injured for a considerable amount of time and didn't have the best of seasons at Manchester United, he didn't have the worst of seasons, but not up to his normal standards, that's a decent card. Fair play. Next on the board is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, one of the fastest players in the world. Aubameyang's staggering 96 pace leaves defenders in the dust on a regular basis. His 81 dribbling helps him retain possession when getting into dangerous areas, and 84 shooting means he reliably finishes the chances he gets. 4-star weak foot, 6 foot tall, which is 6'2" tall, which is big. Compared to last year, he has got a card that is near identical. He's gone up from an 87 to an 88. His pace, dribbling, shooting and defending are all the same. His physical has gone down by 2. His passing has gone up by 1. But when you look at his dribbling stat at 81, the most important factors are actually that he's got 87 reactions. The thing that brings it down quite massively is that 66 balance. So he's going to be fast, but it'll turn like a bit of a truck, unfortunately. But again, a guy that you expect to get multiple informs and special cards throughout the year. By the time he gets to his best card, it will have 99 pace. It will have over 90 shooting and most likely will have over 90 dribbling. At that stage, he'll be an absolute monster. Coming in at number 28 is Hugo Lloris, one of the first of a long line of defensive players that we're going to have here, guys. Lloris is one of the more formidable goalkeepers in the world in 1v1 situations due to his 90 reflexes combined with his first-rate 88 diving and 86 handling. So he's been given the same rating as last year. However, he's actually had some card stat changes. His diving has gone up by 1, reflexes remain the same. Handling has gone down by 1, and then speed, kicking, and positioning remain the same. It's likely that he will be a cheap, high-rated goalkeeper in the Premier League just because of Courtois and David De Gea that usually steal the limelight. Like the thing with goalkeepers is, in FIFA specifically, obviously, there's only ever one goalkeeper position in the team. Strikers, midfielders, they can fluctuate in price because you could have 6 midfielders that are very, very popular and can fit into lots of people's teams. But with the goalkeepers, it's just one guy. And usually it's there for chemistry. And because Courtois is Belgian and Chelsea, because De Gea is Spanish and Manchester United, they typically get the nod over Hugo Lloris. But maybe this year, with the amount of French players in the Premier League and how good the French national team is going to be in FIFA Ultimate Team, maybe Lloris might sneak up there. But I feel that he's going to be the cheaper of the 3 high-rated goalkeepers in the Premier League, of course. Next up, Diego Godin. And now when we look at Godin, this is what I was talking about with Ibrahimovic. He's at 65 pace as one of the best defenders in the game. Number 27, a leader in both I think they say world and action on, in word and action on the pitch. Is he a leader in word? I wouldn't follow. Godin's 88 defending put him in the upper echelons of centre-backs in all of world football. Medium-high work rate, 6'1" tall. He's got the same pace, the same shooting, the same passing, 1 more dribbling, the same defending, and 1 less physical. It's nigh on the same card as FIFA 17. But if you do see, now you don't see Godin often because of pace, but if you do see players like Godin, your Ibrahimovic is going to be comparable with that, and it's going to be fun to use him. And as we move on to the next player, another centre-back, regularly compared to his Bayern and German predecessor, Franz Beckenbauer, his 89 defending can't explain how complete of a defender Hummels is. As strong in possession as he is when tackling the ball away, few centre-backs in the world are as well-rounded, and that's shown by his good dribbling, his good passing, his good physical. And in fact, this year in FIFA 17, I regularly used his Team of the Season card as a centre midfielder or a CDM, bringing on as a sub, because of how good it is. He's got high medium work rates, which obviously benefits that as well. 6'3" tall. Now, in terms of his card, he's gone up 1 in rating from an 87 to an 88, but his pace remains the same, his shooting remains the same, his passing has gone up 1, his dribbling has gone up 1, his defending has gone up 1, but his physical has gone down 1. But again, if you do use Mats Hummels, and I'm not saying people will, because you've got someone like Socrates who's probably a little bit more balanced because he's got way higher pace and very similar defending. But if you do see people using Mats Hummels, again, that Ibrahimovic card, or the likes of, is going to be very, very usable against these kind of defenders. And then we move on to another centre-back in Thiago Silva. Now, Thiago Silva, while his 88 defending, let me get his card up here, is obviously a strong suit. Silva's 72 pace and 79 physical round him out in a way that applies to very few central defenders. And what's important about Thiago Silva is that he's been downgraded by 1, but his pace has gone down by 2, his defending by 2, his physical remains the same, passing and dribbling remains the same, or dribbling down by 1, sorry, and shooting down by 1 as well. But again, what's interesting is when you look at the pace, people would look at Hummels and they would look at Godin and think, man, they're slow. But actually, Thiago Silva is only marginally faster overall at 72 pace. He's only got 6, 7, 8 pace points more than Hummels, and he's only got a few pace points more than Ibrahimovic. Now, when you look at cards of old of Thiago Silva, when he was up in the high 70s and low 80s for pace, fair enough. But because he's getting older again, and what EA do is they brutalise the pace of people who get older, even if they don't get slower. They've reduced his pace a lot, and with that, it'll be really interesting for me to see what they do with the likes of Messi and Ronaldo. Ronaldo obviously into his 30s, Messi approaching his 30s, or is he actually 30 years old now? Lionel Messi, he is 30. It will be really interesting to see what EA do with their pace, especially given the fact that Robben actually hasn't been downgraded that badly. Across the board, EA have been downgrading stats and downgrading pace specifically overall. Maybe they're recalculating it, maybe they just want to show a big stark difference between the fast players and the not so fast players. But with Robben, 86 pace is still fantastic. Still one of the fastest wingers in the world with an 86 pace. The Dutchman combines that with 90 dribbling ability to bamboozle defenders in the Bundesliga and Champions League. When put in a more inverted position to cut inside, his 86 shooting rarely lets him down in front of goal. And he's still got a 4-star skill move, still got a 2-star weak foot. Compared to this year's card, he's been upgraded from an 87 to an 88. In spite of the fact that he had a very indifferent season last year, spending a lot of it injured, he's getting on in age, also 33 years old now, 33 for Arjen Robben, almost 34 years old. having 86 pace with 90 dribbling is humongous. And the reason for that is the way chem styles work. His dribbling at 90, the same as last year, is just brilliant. If it's very similar to last year, he's going to have exceptional dribbling stats. And as we well know from what we discovered specifically this year in FIFA 17, is that high pace and high dribbling gives a much faster feel to a player than high pace and average dribbling, or high pace and low agility and balance. Agility and balance are really important with the dribblers. So when you stick a Hunter or a Hawk on Robben, he is going to feel rapid. He's going to be lightning quick on the ball. And with 86 shooting, this again is interesting to me, where EA gives such low shot ratings to Cavani and to Benzema and to Diego Costa, because Arjen Robben, in all seriousness, doesn't deserve 86 shooting comparatively. Now, again, one of the things to note is that an 88 right mid would not be an 88 right wing because of the way that they define stats, and we will look at that at the next few players. But yeah, I'm very surprised how high his shooting stat is. But this card looks fantastic. The only downside to this card is the fact that Arjen Robben has a 2-star weak foot. If it was even 3-star, he would be so much more viable. But this will be one of the first guys out of somebody's team when a special inform with good pace and good shooting comes in, or when the prices of potential icons comes down to be reasonable. I think Robben will be one of those guys that you don't see in people's teams because of that 2-star weak foot. Next up, guys, we have got Bonucci up at a deserved 88 rated card. Of course, he started with an 87 rated in FIFA 17, so he's been upgraded. But again, with Bonucci, he's got low high work rates and 6'3", which is great. Because he spent his early career as a midfielder, Bonucci brings strong technique and finesse to his current role in the heart of Milan's defence. 87 defending means he can go toe-to-toe with the best in the world, and then he can muscle them off the ball with the 81 physical. And yeah, his defending is great, his physical is great. It's the same as last year. His dribbling's gone up by 2, as has his passing, and his shooting up by 1. But again, they've downgraded his pace by 2. And again, when you look at Bonucci, who I think will be used in FIFA, because the Calcio A teams are looking so strong this year, players with the likes of Costa's pace and Cavani's pace and Ibra's pace, those guys will actually be very, very usable, because the best defenders have very, very limited pace. Now, of course, we haven't seen the likes of Eric Bailly and Chris Smalling and how much pace they're going to have, but even with those, I would expect them to be downgraded. The only players really that kind of make me think, oh wow, he's, you know, he looks really fast, is someone like Socrates. Like, there was a few centre-backs that I was like, whoa, that's an insane centre-back. But they're going to be so few and far between, and probably so expensive early on, that you'll actually be able to get a lot of good change out of slower, more clinical finishers in this game. Now, number 22, guys, is 88 rated Thiago. Of course, we've already seen his card as well. And this, for me, is where the biggest the biggest thing to note is for positions and ratings. At home in central midfield, using his brilliant and creative 90 dribbling ability, Thiago is the beating heart in the midfield for Bayern. Incredibly accurate, Thiago uses his 85 passing to pull the strings and create chances for his teammate all over the pitch. Now, 5-star skill moves is great. 5'9" isn't bad. This, again, like in FIFA 17, will be a great card after a few informs. But the problem with this is that this just isn't a usable card. Not really. Not in FIFA. Not the highest, but 5'9" isn't bad. Not the greatest work rates. Doesn't have a 4-star weak foot. He's very linear in what he can do. He has no good defensive abilities, no good physicality. He's not really that quick, and his shooting isn't so devastating like a James Rodriguez that you can play him at cam competently. So with the likes of David Silva and Cesc Fabregas and Verratti, his card just doesn't live up to his rating of 88, because 90 dribbling is the only stat that's above 88 as an overall. Obviously, in-game stats will show a different story. But when we compare him to his 85 upgraded card of FIFA 17, he's been pushed up by 3 overall from his upgraded card last year. With that, he keeps his pace, he keeps his shooting, he gains 2 passing and 1 dribbling, he loses 1 physical and only gains 4 defending. So I definitely think Thiago will be usable after a few informs, a man of the match card, maybe a special SBC card, maybe a team of the season card. But early on in the game, for the fact that he's 88 rated, he doesn't have a card that says I'm 88 rated. And the difference here, when we look at Dybala as an 88 rated, a breakout star for the Turin club, Dybala's combination of 91 dribbling and 86 pace constantly puts him in positions to wreak havoc in the opponent's box. Whether starting in a deeper playmaking role or as any type of forward, Dybala's 85 shooting and 81 passing mean that he'll succeed just about anywhere. Now, first of all, Dybala looks great, right? You probably wouldn't play him as a cam. You would probably play him as a striker because he's got pace, he's got shooting, and he's got exceptional dribbling, much like Robben when we look at that. Compared to last year, he's lost 2 pace, which again, for me, just says EA are downgrading players across the board. There are some exceptions to the rule, of course, like, for example, Thiago remained on 72 pace, but he got bumped up by 3. So people that got huge upgrades year on year probably kept the same pace, or maybe only gained a couple points or only lost a couple points. Kante, for example, as well, gained 4 huge upgrade points and only gained 1 pace point. But people that remained the same or got downgraded probably got huge pace downgrades. Dybala remained, didn't remain the same actually. He got upgraded from an 85 to an 86 up to an 88. And has 86 pace, 91 dribbling, which is higher by 1. Shooting is lower by 1. Passing has been upgraded by 4. His physical has gone up by 1. His defending remains the same. Now, when you compare the two, Dybala has excessively more pace, more defending, excessively more shooting, more physical, less defending. So he has, way more pace, a little more dribbling, way less defending but more physical, way more shooting and a little less passing. And somebody on Reddit rightfully said that the difference is that he's a cam and he's a CM. If Dybala was registered as a centre mid, he would probably be 91 rated or 90 rated. And alternatively, if Thiago was registered as a cam, he would probably be an 87 or an 86 rating because of the way the stats work. So the overall is very interesting. It doesn't tell the whole picture of the player, nor do the face card stats. They tell more of a overall picture, but not the true in-game picture, because you don't know what this shooting comes of. This shooting might be really high in penalties and volleys, which just wouldn't be very relevant, and it might be really low in finishing and shot power, which would be more relevant. So you don't really know the truth until you see the in-game stats. But the fact that EA have given an overall global downgrade to stats in general and pace specifically makes me think that we could be seeing the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, who obviously had 92 pace in FIFA 17. We could see him down in 88 or 89 pace region. You know, obviously he's still a great player. Whether they put him central or not, I don't know. If they do put him central, he's likely to get a huge downgrade, probably to 88 or 87. But if they keep him out wide, maybe 89, 90. And then for Lionel Messi, again, who is playing centrally more for Barcelona now, was already downgraded to 89 pace last year, down from FIFA 16, of course. Now, are they gonna, if they put him central, do they downgrade him to 87 or 86 pace? And if they keep him as a winger, do they keep him at that 89 pace, or does he also go down to 88 or 87? It'll be interesting to see on Monday when they drop the top 10 how they do that. For me, I feel like we're gonna see some shocks in those final few players. You know, I still feel like we'll see Neymar with that blistering pace, Eden Hazard with that blistering pace, but I don't think Ronaldo and Messi are going to be the same stature that they have been in previous years. But this, though, guys, is going to be the end of the video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to leave a like, rating, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But for now, guys, I'm out. Peace.